2.5 years ago, I used to look like this, and now I look like this. As you can see, there's a clear difference in the way I look now. Despite being skinny my whole life growing up, even as a young adult, I was able to completely change my physique and appearance with calisthenics alone, building an aesthetic, superhuman physique. So today, I'm going to be explaining how you can build your own aesthetic physique and go over the exact exercises and methods that I used to build my own. So when it comes to building an aesthetic physique, the first thing that most people are going to notice in your physique, especially if you're wearing a t-shirt, is your arms. You could have a big chest, a wide back, round shoulders, whatever it may be, but if your arms are small, you're gonna look like you don't even train. Calisthenics is full of compound movements, and while these compound movements are excellent for overall growth and muscle building, if you don't directly focus on your arms, they will fall behind. The way I specifically trained to isolate and grow my biceps were by training things like pelican curls, ring curls, chin-ups, weighted chin-ups, just actually putting the emphasis on the bicep. When it came to training my triceps, I focused on things like dips, ring tricep extensions, diamond push-ups, again putting that isolation and focus on the triceps. Only when I actually started to isolate my arm training did I notice any real growth in them. I kept the reps slow, controlled, and focused on actually feeling the muscles working. If you want big arms, you need isolation work, not just compound movements. So next up is the chest, and the chest is one of those muscle groups that can instantly change how your appearance looks. A well-developed chest gives you that wide, powerful frame. But here's the thing, most people only train their chest in a flat motion with weights. Think things like a bench press, and they call that a day. But for me, calisthenics actually taught me how to build a chest without weights, just angles, control, and intent. I focused on movements like ring push-ups, pseudo push-ups, and decline push-ups. These movements allowed me to hit and train every aspect of my chest, including the often overlooked upper chest. That's when I started to see real growth, not just in the size of the chest, but the actual shape of the chest. If you want that full pec, that full gorilla-like chest, you need to prioritize isolation training specifically on that upper chest alongside your normal chest training. This again is going to help play into that wide upper body, which helps with that aesthetic physique. If you're watching this video and thinking, I want to build a physique just like that, but you don't necessarily know where to start, where to begin, then my 90-day transformation program is the exact blueprint that you need. It has everything in there that I use to build my own physique. It's actual structured progression week by week, designed for beginners, built for real results. Top link in the description down below. So next up in building that aesthetic physique is the shoulders. Now, the shoulders are the difference between looking weak and frail and jacked and strong. They help give your upper body that V taper, that superhero silhouette. The V taper is where your upper body is so wide that it forms a V shape with your body. This shape is consistently viewed as not only an aesthetic one, but a highly attractive one. It signals power, discipline, respect before you even speak. But here's the thing. Most people don't know how to properly build their shoulders with calisthenics. They chase reps without intent, press without precision, and then they wonder why their physique looks flat from the side or undefined from the back. I leaned into movements like wall-supported handstands, pike push-ups, handstand push-ups, face pulls on gymnastic rings, and so many others, all chosen to hit every aspect of the shoulder and its heads. They weren't just random, they were selected to build that 3D look of the shoulder throughout the front, side, and rear delt, so that your shoulders pop from any angle, whether you're standing still or mid-rep. If you want shoulders that demand attention, that demand respect, you need to build them like a craftsman. That means understanding things like angles, tension, and overall intent in your training. Every rep is like a paintbrush, a chisel. Every session like a sculpture in progress. You're not just building muscle, you're building a shape, your physique, your presence. So next up in building that aesthetic physique is the back. Now the back is the canvas that most people forget, but when it's built right, it can transform your entire shape, your entire physique. A wide, detailed back will give you that Christmas tree-like look, that superhero silhouette from behind. It's what makes your physique look powerful even when you're just walking away. In calisthenics, some people neglect it. They chase push-ups, dips, but forget that pulling is what builds width, what builds depth and detail. Without it, your body just looks incomplete, flat from the side and narrow from the back, soft in your overall silhouette. I leaned into movements like the Australian rows, the ring face pulls, and just general pull-ups. These weren't just for building strength, they were for sculpting my shape. I trained horizontal and vertical pulls to help carve out the lats, the rear delts, the mid-back. Every angle mattered in order to build that complete back. If you want a physique that can look elite from every angle, you need to build your back with intention. You're not just training your muscles, you're literally defining your silhouette, right? The shape that's going to be cast beside you by the shadow as you walk around, right? A big part of building that aesthetic physique is those abs, those six-pack, well-defined, jacked abs. But core specifically is one of the most misunderstood muscle groups when it comes to building that aesthetic physique. Most people think that abs are built through hundreds of sit-ups, hundreds of crunches, twists, whatever it may be, but that's not how you actually carve out definition or control. In calisthenics, your core is involved in almost every movement you do, but if you don't train it directly with tension and intent, you'll never get that tight waist or those clean lines that make your upper body pop. Me personally, I focused on movements like L-sits, leg raises, dragon flags. These weren't just about getting visible abs, they were about actually building control and stability, the actual purpose of having a six-pack. And that deep core engagement that makes your entire body move as one. I trained my core almost daily, not with high reps, but with precision. I held positions, I breathed through tension, I made every second count. When your core is locked in and actively engaged, your entire waist tightens, your posture improves, and your physique looks sharper from every angle. It's the difference between looking lean or skinny fat and actually looking sculpted like an athlete. If you want abs that actually show, a waist that makes your chest, your shoulders look bigger by comparison, you need to train your core with intention. Not just for reps, but actual control and shape. Most people wait for the motivation to change, the motivation to build that dream body they've always wanted, but I didn't. I built a system that worked even when I didn't feel like it. I trained 4 to 5 times a week, each session with structure. Each movement had a purpose. I tracked every workout I did, every exercise I did, filmed my form, adjusted when needed. No gym, no machines, just calisthenics. If you're ready to build a superhuman physique and master calisthenics from the ground up, then my 90-day transformation program and blueprints are the exact type of thing you need in order to get started. They're beginner-friendly, structured week-by-week progressions, and designed to help you build the strength, aesthetics, and confidence without any of the guesswork. Top link in the description below. With all that being said, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.